Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. All right, a lot to discuss and not a lot to get into it, so let's go ahead and get rolling here. First of all, I want to talk again Golden State Warriors and Los Angeles Lakers and this rumored trade about LeBron James that almost happened or almost didn't happen, and my favorite man on the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green.
I'm a dumbass.
This dude here, man, and I'll just go ahead and already put up, the many faces of Draymond, I guess. The Draymond Dilemma or the many faces of Draymond is what I'll go ahead and call this part here. This guy who apparently was the catalyst in the almost LeBron trade that did not happen the day before the trade deadline, and just the continual just yin and yang of this dickbag is just a constant source of frustration as a Golden State Warriors fan. And so I have a phenomenal idea that he kind of kickstarted. But let me go ahead and just get into, so there was a supposed trade, at least inquiry, also by the Philadelphia 76ers, because LeBron did, the cryptic tweets with the hourglass and all that. And there was at least some curiosity of whether there was a possibility for a trade. First of all, let me just start off with this part. I don't think the Golden State Warriors nor the Los Angeles Lakers would actually benefit this year even from that trade. I think both teams, as they stand, have at least a puncher's chance. They have a Miami Heat 22-23 season, opportunity here with their stars and with the things and the moves they're, making and things they're doing already. I think they both have an opportunity to come out of a Western Conference that's young and a Western Conference that, other than Denver, is not necessarily really that far separated from 1 all the way down to 10 in the play-in. I mean, you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, they're now 8-3 in their last 11. They have the number 3 offense now in the entire NBA during that run. D'Angelo Russell has been playing great for them, and now the new lineup of D'Lo plus this the 4 men that they've really put together of LeBron, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves has given them a significant. I mean, they've been playing very well with that group, and they are now, yes, 9th in the Western Conference, but they are 8-3 in their last 11, and they look pretty damn good. Of course, with LeBron and a healthy Anthony Davis, who's played 52 of 56 games, there is still an opportunity, as we just saw them do. We just saw them last year in the Western Conference Finals. So I don't think a trade would have benefited them, and I don't even think the trade, even adding LeBron with Steph, would have benefited the Golden State Warriors currently as is. I said it last podcast, and I'll say it again. I really think the Golden State Warriors have an actual opportunity to make a run in the next half of the season and going into the playoffs. I like the old strength and numbers that they've gone back to. They're 8-2, and yes, they're in 10th place, but they're 8-2 in their last 10. Those 2 games were both either close or right at the end, overtime, and actually blew another big lead, something they have a problem with. But you have to get big leads to blow the big lead. So they're 8-2 in their last 10, Gold State Warriors. They have their first winning record for the first time since November. Steph and Jonathan Kuminga, which I discussed last time, have really become a great 1-2. Matter of fact, for multiple of those games were the top scoring duo in the entire National Basketball Association. Klay has been coming back. He just came yesterday off the bench, dropped 35, looked like vintage old Klay. Andrew Wiggins has been back to being more of a regular force and a more consistent player there. And, the offseason would be better for both of these teams to make moves as far as, just the rest of this season. I think both of them actually have a shot, especially Los Angeles Lakers, when you consider they would have 3 first-round picks to trade at the offseason versus they would have only had 1 at the trade deadline. But back to my boy Draymond, and this just absolute dipstick.
I ain't got a good brain.
I'll put the picture back up. The many faces of Draymond Green. It is, without question, one of the more difficult people to try to root for, to try to support or understand. And there is, as usual, the yin and the yang. Draymond is back. He's been actually back for a while now since the suspension, and he's been back in both ways. I mean, on the positive side, on the good side, Draymond has been playing some of the best basketball he's played in years. He has a plus 73 right now, plus minus for the season. He's averaging 10, 7, and 6. He's shooting 42% from threes this year, something we've never seen him do. The defensive rating without Draymond goes from 114 to 122. You're seeing the impact there. You're seeing the impact of the way he's able to help Steph Curry. And, people were kind of questioning Steph when Draymond was suspended. Now Steph's back to being Steph and looks like like a world beater as usual. So, I mean, he's got a great plus minus. He's helping out the defense. He's helping out Steph. He's helping out the young guys. He's doing all sorts of wonderful things. And then the also other side of Draymond is coming back as well. I mean,
I'm a dumbass.
this dude here, oh my God, this guy, he can really just not seem to get it. And, you know, it's so similar, the bad behavior. And let me just go ahead, because this is what happened. So basically after the second, what I call Nurkic 2.0, the second Suns game, when Nurkic really was the instigator and he really was the one being the asswipe in that situation, and Draymond got the best of him after they both were hitting each other. Then Nurkic did the too small and Draymond got him back in the too small, and Nurkic came back afterwards after the game and sounded like a crying little baby. And then Draymond, you know, got a lot of support, not just from people like me who questioned him, but from the internet as well. Everyone was kind of on his side. Sometimes that's the last thing you want to do with someone who has impulse control issues. A lot of times enabling someone who has true impulse control. Draymond is not stupid, but he has impulse control problems, and he is getting back to being the loudmouth, arguing with the refs, acting like an idiot. After they blew their lead at the Clippers game, there was a fight in the fourth quarter, and I think some of y'all saw this, but I'll go ahead and play it. Draymond's back to being Draymond, sticking his tongue out, making weird finger banging, 4-ring finger bang mode. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I'll play it for you. Here we go. Yep, here's Dre. Oh, I've learned from therapy. I'm really figured things out. Let me stick my tongue out at everybody like a dog panting. And I'll go back to the sideline and I'll lie to the assistant coach and tell him I figured things out as we see this part here. Hold on. Yeah, no, coach. No, I wasn't doing anything. No, I wasn't making weird tongue gestures or anything else. Let me go ahead, though, and continue to instigate, because that is just what he is at his core. And he's doing great. He's helping out the team. The team looks good. And like I said, I think the team could actually go on a run. But it is so dangerous. And Draymond is at the top of this, along with, you've seen lately, Dillon Brooks, John Morant, Rodman towards the end of his run, giving people that don't have an ability to keep themselves in line, once they get in trouble and actually start showing some signs of reform. It's a lot like an addict, and I obviously have a little experience with this, having to be sober and seeing the things that I've seen. When people have impulse control problems, you can't enable them. I mean, and again, Dillon Brooks is a perfect example of this. Houston has found out the hard way after Memphis already found out the hard way with, giving him a bunch of money now. He continues to act like Dillon Brooks acts because you've given him money and you've given him, kind of a little bit of too much room to operate. John Morant, incident after incident after incident after incident. The Memphis Grizzlies did nothing about it, and finally it bit them in the ass for now a 2-year run of extended period of time. Some of that is injury, but still a lot of it was just not learning that some guys you just can't give that long leash to. Draymond Green falls in that category. He's a guy who, if you let him talk to the refs, he's eventually going to get a tech. If you let him get too fired up and talk about other players or talk to other players or do what he's doing now, sticking his tongue out, doing the 4-finger bang, I don't know what the hell he's doing, it will become a problem eventually. And so after that game, boy, he was back to being dumbass Draymond, saying a lot of the same dumbass things that he used to do, including one of my favorite quotes, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. He's talking about Nurkic and them back and forth. And then he says out loud, and this is how Draymond thinks, because Draymond's an instigator. Draymond's a shit starter, and in his head, he thinks it helps. So I remember him actually saying during the press conference, he goes, yeah, well, quiet guys don't win. Quiet guys can't win. If you're quiet, you just can't win.
That's talk. That's dopey dum-dum talk.
So quiet guys can't win unless your name is, I don't know, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Joe Dumars, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Durant, John Stockton, Derrick Rose. I mean, other than like those 12 or 13 people off the top of my damn head, I can't really think of anyone else. What the hell are you talking about? A quiet person can't win. That is what happens when you enable this dickwad, is that he gets in his head that, oh, this is what I have to do to win. I have to stick my tongue out. I have to start fights. I have to get in arguments with the ref. I have to get suspended for long periods of time because that is part of what makes me me. And I've heard the coaches say it. I've heard teammates say it. It is absolute horseshit. He doesn't need to do this. And the more you let him go back to it, I'm watching him. He started off great off that suspension. He's going right back down that hill. So both on and off the court, I'm seeing Draymond be problematic once again. And so back to the Lakers and Warriors story here, which I think is absolutely interesting. Apparently, because of, LeBron and the Lakers kind of struggling and LeBron doing the cryptic hourglass tweets and everything, there was at least a report and was now been, actually backed and said to be true that not just the 76ers, but the Golden State Warriors called and at least made an inquiry about the trade possibility the last night of the deadline for LeBron James. Now, the Lakers told him to go F yourselves, and they asked LeBron. LeBron said the same thing, said, I want to stay here in Los Angeles. But there was at least the, inquiry there, which was obviously headline news. But the part that I want to focus on, and the part that really pisses me off, and I'll go to this graphic here now. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Draymond Green was the catalyst for at least the Warriors. That apparently once Draymond got wind of any of this, he called his agent, Rich Paul, who was also LeBron's agent, because Draymond's had a crush on LeBron James for a long time and was trying to help at least facilitate or convince everyone, both on the Warriors and Lakers side and Rich Paul as well, to make this trade. And this is right after going on a big run. So this is frustrating for me for a lot of different levels. A, I would love to know who you were okay with them letting go. Because to get LeBron James back, you would have had to give up at least some significant pieces there. You would have had to at least give up, I don't know, Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins, but more disturbingly, because you got to remember, the numbers have to match. You have to go money for money. You can't just make trades willy-nilly. The numbers and the contracts have to match up. That most likely means you met Klay Thompson. Or at least you were willing. You were so horny for LeBron and, oh man. And LeBron and Steph would be an interesting combination. I personally, as a fan of Steph, wouldn't like to see that combination. But at least basketball-wise, it makes a lot of sense there. But in order to make a move of that magnitude, the Los Angeles Lakers, in order to get rid of LeBron freaking James and Draymond, you making this call, damn good and well, they couldn't just give up some draft picks. They were going to have to give up major people, either Kuminga, who's been phenomenal, and by the way, happens to be in your spot, Andrew Wiggins or Chris Paul, and most likely like a Klay Thompson, somebody part of the core group, just so you can get your, wannabe best friend out there in Los Angeles over there with you. And so that's my first question is, who did you want gone knowing the money was going to match? But the better and more important part of this, and this is what is really interesting, Draymond Green, I'm actually with you on this. I changed my mind. The more I thought about it and the more the LeBron and Steph, I wouldn't really like the combination. Since you're the one making the calls and apparently the one behind a lot of this, calling Rich Paul, calling the Warriors organization, trying to facilitate this trade, knowing it was going to take big pieces, you know who would be a perfect trade piece to get LeBron James to the Lakers? You.
I like that idea, and I will support it.
You want to go down this road, smart ass? All right, fine. You know what? You would be the perfect trade piece to try to get along with Andrew Wiggins or somebody else to go ahead and get LeBron James on the Golden State Warriors. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead just so you know, like I said, numbers had to match. I went and looked at it. The numbers do match straight up. If we give you Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green, the Los Angeles Lakers can give us LeBron James back in a numbers for numbers matching trade. Now we'd probably have to throw in a draft pick as long to go with it. But yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, why not? Pairing LeBron and Steph, that would be, arguably two of the top 5 players of all time together on the same team. And you know what? Everything that you think you do well, LeBron could go right into your spot and do exactly what you think you do so damn good, a lot better than you. Now I love this idea. Let's make this trade.
I like that idea, and I will support
Hopefully
it.
you and Wiggins continue to play well in the offseason, and you know what? We'll send your goofy ass over to Los Angeles. This is a brilliant idea. Way to go, Draymond. Now we bring LeBron over to put in your spot, and so now we have, instead of you out there, we have Steph, Klay, Jonathan Kuminga at small forward, or LeBron at small forward or power forward. Mix those up with Kevon Looney, along with coming off the bench, Chris Paul, Brandon Pajimski, Gary Payton, Moses Moody, TJD, Saric, some nice bench players to go with there with a starting unit of Steph, Klay, Kuminga, LeBron, and Looney. That's great. That's a hell of an idea. Now, you can go to Los Angeles and prove what a damn winner you are and how much, value you bring that aren't always statistically available. And, you can be in Los Angeles. They like a show. You can go ahead and bark and act like an idiot and do all the things that you do out there and be the distraction or at least the center of attention that you want to be. The Golden State Warriors, and you know what? What a great teammate. You give Steph Curry, the 4 that they've always looked for. Imagine if LeBron did. Imagine if we did the actual right move there, if they were able to get this trade done and trade your goofy ass over there along with Andrew Wiggins. That puts LeBron into your spot. All the things you think you do well, running the point forward, the ability to rebound, dribble, get the rebound off the defensive side of it and then go ahead and lead the break down there. Being able to finish around the rim with Steph Curry and Clay run those pick and rolls. Doing all the leadership, all the things that you think you do well, LeBron does better. And he actually would fit right into your spot. Same height, same weight. He's faster. He's a better shooter. He's overall more talented. He's not a distraction. He's not a problem. I love this idea. In the offseason, you know what? This is great. Draymond, you're an ultimate teammate. I'm glad you made those calls to Rich Paul. Let's trade you and Andrew Wiggins and maybe a draft pick, and let's bring back LeBron James, I don't know, Cam Reddish, or some other, extra little piece the Lakers don't want. I love it.
I like
Good
that
job.
idea, and I will support it.
Dickwad. I just can't believe, because you knew damn good and well what it was going to take in order for these trades to happen. So yeah, let me go ahead and put it up here one more time. Since LeBron and Draymond love to be best friends here, and Draymond is really, it's kind of like the Looney Tunes cartoon with the big dog and the little dog, and hey, what are we going to do today? If you want to go ahead and try to continue that, and you actually had the balls to make this call and to try to facilitate this, knowing the big pieces that would have had to go in order for you to come back, I've done the trade workout. It actually, look, the numbers match. We can get rid of you and Wiggins, and we can bring in LeBron. And you can go to Los Angeles and you can prove what an absolute winner you are. And it would be a great way to solidify your legacy. Hey, maybe you'll win without Steph. Maybe you'll be able to prove that you don't need it. I mean, Anthony Davis, Wiggins, Draymond, that's a hell of a front court. You mix that with D'Lo and Reeves, and you know what? Hey, you being as great as you are, who knows what'll happen? You're a great leader. You're a winner. I mean, it's just sad. I mean, again, he was doing so well, and he continues to do well on the court. But I mean, there's no way behind the scenes Warriors players aren't a little bit iffed or miffed by this situation of being like, really, bro? You're making calls. This, at least some of the big pieces here in the locker room, we've actually been on a run. We've been playing well. We would have had to go for your pretend boyfriend to show up. And I mean, trust me, as much as I don't like LeBron, the person, I do love the idea of at least the facilitating and the size and the versatility that LeBron would bring if you put him into Draymond's spot, and actually putting Steph and LeBron even at an older age. It would arguably be, next to Magic and Kareem, the only time you can say you had two of the top 5 players of all time on the same team, and they would fit perfectly well together in the way that they could work off each other. And again, putting LeBron into the Draymond role, he would be able to do everything Draymond does times a million. It would be an unbelievable offense, and would be something that would be, at least every ticket would be sold out. They would be the #1 television ratings, not to mention they could still win the entire thing with that combination, keeping Klay Thompson, keeping their youth, and keeping everyone else around them. So whatever. You think it's a good idea, so do I. We should trade for LeBron, and we should ship your goofy ass out to do it. There you go. Here's the other part of this that's interesting, is that I don't know why anyone even called or is worried about it. And finally, the Los Angeles Lakers are on my side here and finally kind of understand this. This is a new report that just came out. If you want LeBron James, and welcome to what I've been saying for a while, you're going to need his kid. This is the latest reports that have been coming out from The Athletic and others. And let me just congratulate the rest of the media and the basketball world who are finally kind of, really grasping this. This is this was a post, but it was on The Athletic. The Lakers are willing to explore drafting Bronny James next season in order to just keep LeBron James and keep him happy. Again, hi, welcome to the chat. I've been saying this for, I don't know, a year. All this talk about trades and free agency and do they have to be a winner? No. LeBron is going to go, and I want y'all to really look at me. LeBron is going to go where Bronny goes. Whoever wants LeBron is going to have to draft his son, Bronny. This is one of the few things I'm not even mad at LeBron James for. I mean, for a lot of people, you already have him as the GOAT. And look, this is a guy who is a super dad, which comes from his background and his childhood. Most people that go through what LeBron went through either become just like the dad that left him, or they become the super dad that they are. And he wants to make NBA history and finish his career out with his kids, something we've never seen done in the NBA. We've seen it in baseball. We've seen it in other places, but we've never seen in the NBA have both the father and son play together on the same team. This is one of the few times I have no issue with what LeBron James is doing and what he wants. This is a very cool, very awesome, very 1 in a billion opportunity chance for him to do. And again, this is a guy who really, if you've ever watched LeBron, watch the way he loves his kids, takes care of his kids, worships, the ground that they work on. He is super dad. So super dad wants to go play with his kids somewhere, and the only way any team has an opportunity to get him is to draft his son, Bronny. Now, the bigger question, does Bronny deserve it? No. No, he doesn't. It's not against him. He is a top 20 high school recruit and a top talent who did, on his own earn an opportunity at USC, but he's not ready, and he has a congenital heart disease that almost killed him, and he's only been able to play in limited minutes, and we really don't still know the full long-term effects of the congenital heart defect that he has. And again, he's just not even ready. Statistically, he's not there. All that is a moot point because everybody knows this is a little bit, I'm sorry, this is a Nepo baby. He will bring LeBron to your team. So the good news on that is that he does have some talent, Bronny does. He really does. He's a talented kid, and he's the son of a pro. And as I've lectured y'all before on this, any sport, I will always give a little bit more of a latitude and a little bit more of a preference towards the son of a pro athlete, someone who's played there before him. I was just talking about this with Shadur Sanders, but you can look at this with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Peyton and Eli Manning, Kobe Bryant, Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, the Bosas, McCaffrey just in the Super Bowl. They're showing pictures of Ed McCaffrey. Sons of pro athletes usually understand what it takes. They're able to be around it at an early age and understand the life of a professional athlete and what it actually entails. They have obviously access to the best training. They're usually much more mature. They have more poise. Nothing seems to really, scare or worry or affect them. So on the positive sides of this, Bronny does have the pedigree of being the son of a professional athlete, which is a now long list of people before and after him who are going to be able to excel just because of that alone. He has the talent to do it. And unfortunately for him, and on the negative side, he really has no business being drafted next year. Again, he's not ready, and we still don't know with that congenital heart defect if he's even healthy enough to last an 82-game NBA season. All of that is a moot goddamn point because he is going to be drafted by somebody next year. We finally have reports showing this, and I want to welcome everybody to something I've been saying for over a year now because, yes, he is going to, this should have been one of the easiest things for y'all to figure out ever.
I'm tired.
I don't know how I was one of the first ones to really jump on this. Now, the other issue that is somewhat, problematic, not just for Los Angeles Lakers fans, but even if like the Warriors were to make the Draymond trade I was talking about earlier and get him out of there and get LeBron over to Golden State. The issue with anybody trying to get Bronny is that now it's finally becoming more understood of just the significance that this isn't just, the Bronny, this is the LeBron that comes with them. If you don't have multiple number one picks, you're unfortunately up shit's creek without a paddle because a lot of teams do. Here's the list. Just so y'all know, this is the problem for not just the Lakers. This is not just the problem for the Warriors. This is the problem for anybody else not named the next 7 teams I'm about to mention is that you don't have as many quote unquote wastable picks to take a risk on a kid who, again, has a heart problem and is probably not actually ready at all to just go ahead and throw that pick away on a complete risk to go ahead and bring in LeBron James. Unfortunately for the rest of the league, these teams do. Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, Pacers, Pelicans, Rockets, and Spurs. As you can go ahead and look at the graphic. I got it up here right now. The teams that have the most first-round picks in the 2024 NBA draft, the upcoming draft, are now the Boston Celtics, the Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, Pacers, Pelicans, Rockets, Spurs. The Pelicans are interesting in that little sidebar because their second pick would come from Los Angeles. They have the ability now for either next year or the year after to take the pick that came with the Anthony Davis trade away from Los Angeles. If I'm New Orleans, I'm using the pick next year just to make sure that now we know, which everyone else should have known already, which is that the Lakers would like to use their pick to go ahead and get Bronny in order to keep LeBron. If I'm the Pelicans, not only do I go ahead and use my pick this year because they're young and they could use a little bit more influx of more talent and youth movement, but I also know I get to screw over a Western Conference foe in Los Angeles at the same time, I think they're going to keep the pick. I don't think they're going to push it to next year. So that now puts all of them in that category of something that both the Lakers and Warriors don't have, which is the ability to take an extreme risk and quote unquote throw away a pick on a kid who we have no idea what he's going to come with, but other than he's going to come with his dad. The Spurs would be the best for me. I really think if I'm the Spurs, I'm doing it. Spurs got so many picks. It is just absolutely ridiculous. The Spurs have just picks falling off of out of their pockets at this point. And with Victor Wembanyama, I've mentioned this before, what a perfect scenario to let LeBron mentor, the first chosen one, quote unquote, that had all the media firestorm to mentor the new chosen one. Not to mention there's really no pressure there. So his kid, at least as Bronny, could come in and have a possibility to at least get a chance to play and see if he really can contribute at this level. That allows LeBron to now play with his son for an extended period of time. That allows the Spurs to get a mentor that you couldn't get in any other way. And when you got like 9 million picks in the next few years, the way the Spurs do, if anyone makes absolute sense to now finally, everyone kind of getting in on this same understanding of this is not just coming with Bronny, this comes with dad. Why don't the Spurs do it? I mean, they're the ones that make the most sense by far. Unfortunately for the Lakers, the Warriors, and other teams involved, that has you just pretty much shit out of luck. But I mean, at least finally, boy, it was getting annoying. I was trying to tell people for a while that, who cares about, I still hear them. I still hear, First Take and some other ones, and they'll talk about, oh, LeBron might want to go here next year because of a winner. LeBron might want to go here because of this team here. LeBron might want to go here. LeBron's going to go where his kid goes. I really need y'all to just finally understand it.
See, I done told you. I done told you.
There's really no other way to explain it other than that is what's going to happen. So, all right. Let me take a breath. Moving on now, staying in basketball, but I want to go to a completely different subject. All-Star Weekend is this weekend, and that's great. There is a star that I still don't think gets enough love and understanding, and even though there was a lot of news reports and things today and people talking about it, I have to do this as well because still, I don't think... And it's a microcosm of a lot of things. A lot of people truly understand Superwoman. Caitlyn Clark is just is something else. She's on a complete another level. She is those one in just a million talents. She is somebody who understands it all and has just been, now congratulations to her, is now the all-time NCAA women's scoring record and absolutely crushed it. I mean, I'll get into it here in a second. But I mean, yes, All-Star Weekend, there's a lot of cool things going on. And, with Caitlyn, I just want to point out that even with all of this, I think it's getting harder and harder to become entertained in today's day. Like, we're really starting to revert back to gladiator days a little bit. I mean, celebrity fights. I've watched 3-on-1, 3 men versus 1 MMA fights. I've seen, lighted courts and spheres, people wearing VR helmets at the actual game out there in Boston. And now when the All-Star Weekend, we have Battle of the Sexes, something we haven't brought up since Billie Jean King in a long time. We're going to go ahead and have Steph versus Sabrina. And I think that's a fascinating thing there. A lot of people talking about Sabrina and what a great shooter she is, and absolutely true. But she's not Caitlyn. Caitlyn is something that is like, it's hard to describe. She's not just, the best showman in the country. She's the best show woman. Last 20 years. This girl is absolutely crazy. This girl's Superwoman. She just got the NCAA scoring record just last night, and she only needed 8 points to do it. So this is, again, shout out to Caitlyn doing her thing, but just to give you an idea of just the level, again, of show person and talent and just understanding the moment and being a performer. Like, a performer understands the moment. So she goes back to Iowa with 8 points to go in order to break the all-time scoring record. Of course, the place is sold out. And of course, everyone's all eyes are on her. So she not only does it, she scores the first 8 points in the first 8 minutes. in front of her hometown sellout crowd of Iowa. And she only took 2 minutes and 12 seconds to accomplish it and hits the record shot with a logo 3. And oh, by the way, ended up with, as you can see here, a little bit of a decent performance. The girl ended up with a career high 49 points and 13 assists in this game. I mean, this is like, Kobe 60 in the last day of his, career. Magic in the NBA Finals when he had the Rookie of the Year, or, he was a rookie and he got the Finals MVP. And just seeing that certain people just, man, they understand a moment, they grasp it, they take it, they don't run from it, they accept it. And matter of fact, if y'all want a show, I'm going to give you a damn show. Caitlyn Clark last night put on a show that goes beyond man, woman, sex, politics, any of the bullshit you want to bring up. Caitlyn Clark in a sellout crowd in her hometown with 8 points to go. Again, scored it by scoring the first 8 points. It only took her 2 minutes and 12 seconds to break the now all-time record. And the last shot here, watch this. Look at the way she does it. From half court on a pull-up. That was the shot that broke the all-time record. Unbelievable. The fans are going nuts. Why wouldn't they? As she goes on again to have 49 points and 13 assists. It's something else, man. Here's another run of it here. There's with the crowd. I'll let the crowd talk here. Look at that. Look at that. That shot was insane. And look at this crowd. Performers understand the moment. Oh, I need 8 points. I'm at home. It's a sellout. Word. All right, let me score the first 8 points. Let me do it in 2 minutes. And let me break the record on a logo shot off the dribble from the left-hand side from like 40 damn feet in order to get it done. Caitlyn Clark is now the all-time leading woman scorer, and she's one of the best things to watch in sports. I don't know what you guys are missing, and you only have a few games left to catch her because then it's the tournament, and she probably does go ahead and go on to the WNBA next season. But man, this girl, I mean, again, 49 and 13. She combined for 79 points that game. Just so you know, that is the most combined points of averaging points and assists and putting those together in the last 25 seasons for any Division I player, man or woman. She is not just, she didn't just break the record. She gets a career high. She ties her career high with 9 3-pointers on 18 shots. And again, with her 13 assists combines for 79 points, which then puts her as the most by any Division I player, man or woman, in the last 25 seasons. She continually makes the extraordinary look routine. It reminds me of Steph Curry. It's it's only a few people I've ever seen be able to really just capture moments and do things in a special way that just makes all eyeballs go on them. And the crazier part of it, she still has more to go. Caitlyn Clark can still continue to evolve and push this record into, again, crossing over man, woman, whatever you want to talk about, and all the other stuff that are starting to creep in. Some of the things I'm hearing that are really kind of getting on my last nerve here. But I mean, the fact is she still has 3 games left. Now, she's broken Kelsey Plum's NCAA scoring record, and that's phenomenal. And that is, all time and one of the greatest things we've ever seen, especially the way that she did it. However, she is now, because of the AIAW, that was before the NCAA of women's basketball, Lynette Woodard, the legend of all time, because now Caitlyn has 3,569 points. Woodard's record for all women of any collegiate sports when they were the AIAW is 3,649 points. So she's only 80 points away from that with 3 games to go. The all-time NCAA scoring record on either side, men or women, is held currently by Pete Maravich with 3,667 points. And that is bananas that she has a chance to break that record, because anyone knows anything about what Pete Maravich did over there at LSU. He got to play for his dad, and you want to talk about a one-man show that just got the ball whenever he wanted. She is now only 98 points with 3 games to go from breaking Pete Maravich's scoring record at LSU. This is, and look, she has, if you go by the averages, she's probably going to do both. She only has to average 26.6 in order to go ahead and take Woodard's and just take all the women's scoring records and just go ahead and put them in her back pocket. And if she wants the all-time, which would be Pete Maravich's at LSU with his dad coaching and being a one-man show, Iverson on crank, all she needs to do is average 32.6 points per game in her last 3. She's currently averaging 32.8. So she would have to play below average to not just end up at the end of this with every single scoring record that you've ever seen in college basketball, and most of y'all still don't watch her, and I don't quite understand. I have a girlfriend, I love her to death, and she talks about feminism and all this other rights and stuff. I consistently tune in to watch Caitlyn Clark. She's one of the best things to watch in any sport that I've ever seen. She's phenomenal. She's one of a kind, and she will even kind of, not even pay that much attention. So many of y'all are missing the boat on one of the greatest stars of any sport ever in the history of ever. I mean, and now the all-time records are there to prove it. She's the NCAA women's scoring record. She is probably, if she goes by her averages with 3 games to go, going to break the just all women scoring, Lynette Woodard included. She is going to probably break Pistol Pete Maravich's scoring record, which would be unbelievable. She also, by the way, would now have, with all that combined, the now NCAA tourney points record. She has that one as well, because she just last season in the NCAA tournament was able to beat both men and women with 191 total points during her run. And that was, I think, beat Glenn Rice and, a few other legends that you've heard of. So she already had the tournament scoring record. And oh, by the way, she was the first person ever, man or woman, to have a 40-point triple-double in the NCAA tournament. She is the only woman ever to get a finals, an NCAA finals, up to 9.9 million viewers. She set every attendance record on the planet. I mean, their attendance record on the road was absolutely bananas. And oh, by the way, just this last season, they set the single game attendance record for a women's college basketball game in the preseason when they got 56,646 people from Iowa to watch a preseason women's basketball game in a football stadium. I mean, this is something I really don't see how this can get into politics, race, sex, or any of the other bullshit that we put this one into. In this category, Caitlyn Clark should not be looked at as a woman. She should not be looked at as a woke or a message of any type. Caitlyn Clark is just one of the best things to watch in maybe 25 years, 30 years. I don't even know how long. Maybe all time in collegiate sports. Again, let's just one more time revisit every record that she's now either has or is going to break. She has the NCAA women's scoring record. She has the NCAA tournament scoring record for both men or women. She has the only person ever in a NCAA tournament to get a triple-double of 40 points. She has the women's now finals record as far as viewership with 9.9 million viewers in the finals. She has the most watched ever one women's basketball game at 56,000 plus in a preseason game. She's on her way to breaking the all-time collegiate scoring record and is now on her way not just on the women's side to break it, but to break Pistol Pete Maravich's all-time scoring record. I mean, Jesus H. Christ. What else can this girl do to convince people that this is not just your typical nonsense. This is not your typical, whether you want to get into, she's white or she's a girl and and that's why she's getting the attentions and the ratings. I'm sorry, you guys are wrong. I really don't know what to tell you. You guys are just wrong on this. This is not a woman's issue. This is not a white issue. It's not.
He's white, because he is white.
And I'll go ahead and even put up, I made this little graphic here to show you. This is not like, this All-Star weekend. I'll give you this. Mac McClung should not be in the All-Star dunk contest for the NBA. He barely played like one game total in his entire career. Yes, he is the champion from last year, but let's be honest, a lot of this is because he's a little 6'2" white guy and he might be able to win again. It's ratings, it's attention to the NBA. I get it. Mac McClung is a great white hype ratings ploy.
It's all right, because it's all white.
This is not Mac McClung. This is not the, latest run of crap Marvel movies, including the Marvels and now Madam Web, which I heard is one of the most tremendously awful pieces of shit that has ever come out in Marvel's now very wretched history in the last couple of years of trying to push agendas or, watch this because it's women and it's empowering. Caitlyn Clark does not fall into these categories. Caitlyn Clark is not a great white hype. She is not a Mac McClung at the dunk contest, even though he doesn't deserve to be there because he hasn't been in the NBA. This is not a Marvel movies franchise that is consistently trying to throw women down your throat and watch women. They're just as good as men. She does not fall into any of this. She's a record setter. She is a game breaker. She is a game changer. She is a one-of-a-kind talent that I have very rarely seen of anybody in professional or collegiate sports be able to accept moments and just embrace them and, be able to rise up to an entire another level from the already talented level that they're at. There are a lot of legends that we consider very good players that I think you can argue when the big moment showed up, they did okay. They didn't always do great. Every time this girl has had all eyes on her, Caitlyn Clark has done nothing but continue to impress and continue to push the next level. I mean, she's that one. Caitlyn Clark is that one from the I Am Her tribe. Caitlyn Clark is one of the baddest just players of any sport currently going on in 2024. And if you're missing the boat because you think it's a great white hype, or if you're missing the boat because you think it's like the Marvel movies, having agendas pushed on you, it has nothing to do with that. This is just sincerely one of the best players I've ever seen play any sport ever. I mean, what she's doing against her competition is second to none of anyone, I mean, not named like a Tom Brady. I mean, it is a short list of people that I've seen impress me the way that Caitlyn Clark, Kobe Bryant, it's a Michael Jordan. It's a short list of people that I'm like, God dang, this one, every time I watch him and there's pressure, it just continues to step up and do more. Caitlyn Clark is that one from the I Am Her tribe. She's the all-time women's scorer now. She's going to, break that record as well. She's probably going to break pistols. She's set every record on the planet. She is worth watching. If you're not watching it, shame on you. Shame on you. If you're not watching Caitlyn Clark for any reason other than you maybe just aren't a basketball fan, if you're any fan of basketball and you don't watch Caitlyn Clark for any of the political reasons that I just brought up, you're a douchebag.
Douchebag says
You're a
what?
douchebag. I really don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so that's, I got 3 more games to enjoy her. I'm going to. I hope you guys too do, because it really has been a lot of fun. All right, last topic, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it a day here. This is interesting. And I'm gonna set the mood. I need the mood. Let me see. Do I do this one? Should I do this one? Hold on. Let me go ahead. Does this work? Yeah. Speaking of politics and problems and sports and all that, there's something that maybe doesn't just get on my nerves. Maybe it gets on y'all's too. Politicizing or being heavy during sporting events, I'm over it. I think maybe there was a place in the last few years for it. Obviously, I think a lot of good has come from it. But in general, I don't think I'm the only one. And I think even like the Grammys, I think most award shows and sporting events and everyone's starting to realize, like, dude, we come here to get away from that. We come here to get away from the heaviness. We come here to get away from, the reminders that there's problems and there's death and there's hatred and there's all sorts of things out there. So even watching the Super Bowl, there was a couple commercials that got a little much. And I think I'm tired of the heaviness. And I'm starting to really understand old man Joe Sixpack, who's like, dude, I'm here just to watch a game. Please don't make me think about the bad stuff. This is my escape. Please leave me alone with some of the other stuff. Why am I bringing this up? Because you can't escape it. And this is by far the worst violation of it. The Puppy Bowl. Some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. The Puppy Bowl. Okay, the Puppy Bowl is an offset for people that don't want to watch the Super Bowl. It's like on the Animal Planet channel or whatever. And it's supposed to be just a bunch of little cute puppies playing football together. They give them a little football chew toys and they have announcers and it's a whole event. It's been going on for like 20 years and it's a great thing. So what happened this last one, this is exactly my frustration with, can we please keep the heaviness out of at least anything I'm trying to watch that's trying to get me to escape, sporting events included. There was Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea was, as I got the graphic up here we go. That's Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea was this cute little, Yorkie looking thing that was part of the Puppy Bowl, smaller than a football, cute, shy, little, just adorable thing. And she was the star of the Puppy Bowl. I don't know what to tell you. If you watch the Puppy Bowl, little Sweet Pea here, there's another picture of her. Look at that little Sweet Pea. Look at that little baby. Look at that sweet little baby. She was this cute, shy little, absolute tennis ball sized thing that was running around with all these other big dumb puppies. And it was this big, cute moment. And so why am I bringing this up? And please don't make me, don't bring up heaviness in my sporting events. Because after I and a lot of others were enjoying, the cuteness of Sweet Pea, they cut to this during the broadcast. Sweet Pea was rescued by a shelter that specializes in helping special needs puppies. Sadly, she was unable to overcome her health issues. We dedicate Puppy Bowl 20 to her memory. Sweet Pea died. I can't even. I can't watch the pup. This is the level it's getting to. I can't watch the Puppy Bowl. If anything, should be just a nice little, hey, this is cute, let me have some fun. Oh, you like this puppy? Guess what? That puppy died. Yeah, things die, I don't know if you knew that. Cute things die every day, all the time. So we just wanted to remind you. I mean, look, it's memoriam. I guess they meant it to be a touching thing, but dude, really? God dang it. Can I watch one thing without y'all shoving stuff in my face and making me feel bad, remind me of hatred and death and sadness? Sweet Pea's dead? Sweet Pea's dead? The Puppy Bowl star is dead? I mean, that was brutal. Oh, you like Sweet Pea? Yeah, she died, you know. Yeah, she's gone. She's dust now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. At some point, I would love to just be able to enjoy things, and I think we actually are getting towards that again, as I'm noticing again the Grammy Awards. I'm noticing, sporting events and everything else, as important as it might have been, maybe for a while, because there was such a push for it, that we can go ahead and just try to, I don't know, just enjoy the event, just, escape for a minute. The world is hard enough. Can sometimes we just have a good time and all enjoy each other and not be reminded of death, especially Sweet Pea, who, obviously rest in peace. You will be remembered, you cute little dog. I got to go. Have a good one.